It's sunny! Woo! We have sprung forward. The daylight is more. It's really rough getting up in the mornings when it's dark, dark, dark. Princess, the cat is here. Here comes the sun with the kitties. Here comes the sun with the kitties. And it's all right. Do-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-doo-doo. I think I lost the plot. Right. Hi, my name is Kay, and this is my Cave of Possibilities. I have yarny nitty stuff to the left of me, cross-stitch stuff over there to the right, and here I am, stuck in the middle with you. It is a bright March day. It is like 90 degrees out there. I don't know why I'm wearing a wool sweater. Probably because it's women's winter, aka the air conditioner is on at work, and therefore it's very, very cold on the inside and much warmer on the outside. Anyway, beautiful weather. It's way too early to be this warm, but I can't control it. So, hi, here we are. It's been about a month. I have stitched many things, and then I had like a week where I didn't stitch much of anything, and whatever. We'll just start at the very beginning. So, the first little thing I have to show you is this finish. These are Groovy Chicks, the blue variety, from Satsuma Street, and this is one of the patterns that she released in Nashville last year. Sneeze paws. So I stitched these groovy birds on the called for fabric. It is a 28 count ice blue linen witched with most of the called for Cosmo flosses. There were 3 that I couldn't source locally, so I just used the DMC equivalents. And unless you knew what to look for, I don't think you'd really notice it. But this turned out really quite wonderfully. And then I'm going to pass this off to Lisa, and she'll sew it up into a little humbug birdie thing. And so I have stitched 3 of these in the chicken variety and given them all away. So Miss Blue is one that I am going to keep for myself. I'm very happy for that. The next thing that I worked on quite a bit, little cat, it has your fur all over it. I'm going to have to get the lint roller out. Yes, it does. Is my pansies from a kit. Let's show you. This is the kit. Bernat, $2.50 in 1982. And I used my own fabric because there's the Ada that was originally included. A ton of flosses left over. I think this is a 14 count Ada, and I used a 32 count just white even weave that was floating around in my stash, and I think she turned out really quite nice. I went to Miss Brooke held a Galentines stitching one-day retreat up in Layton, and I went to that. And while I was there, I stitched on these green leaves, and the purple flower. And so the next couple days, I finished off the blue flower and the leaves down around that. And I think it turned out really quite well. I'm ready to take her over to the framer, Beveled Edge Framing, in Springville, and have this framed up. They do an excellent job at it. So I finished some pansies. Really quite thrilled with that. Okay, now for the usual round of stitching. Let's pull out. Usually I set this up first, but I've been working on Color of Water. Let me get the other, grab the other cover page. Here we are. It's all in German, and I don't speak a lick of German. I barely speak English. That's what the name of the pattern and the designer publisher on that page. And just for reference, I am ghost stitching this for Robin. She was a stitcher here in Utah, had terminal cancer, and it finally did take her life. She passed away early in the morning of the 22nd of February, and we went up to her, well, down to Fillmore to her funeral, and it was a beautiful, beautiful set of services. She'd be mad at me for saying funeral. She insisted it was a celebration of life. It was beautiful by whatever name you want to call it. Anyway, so since her top stitch and my top stitch go the opposite way, this is the way with the little arrow. This is how it's supposed to be. And then I'm rotating it and stitching it on its side. Oops, come on, cooperate. Stitching it on its side for all their blocks. And I filled in, I had most of the filigree here filled in beforehand, and I filled in the light blue and then started on this dark gray up in here. So there's still a little bit left to work on for that that block. I think it's white cream. We'll fill in there, and then I have 2 more blocks to finish out, and then I will be halfway done with the colors of water. This is being done on a 36 count even weave. The even weave is white, and we are using all of the called for flosses. So that's coming along pretty good. It didn't get much stitching. I didn't stitch on it very much right after Robin passed. So I had to let it sit for a bit and breathe. So that's just how it is. So those, then I finished the pansy, and then I was waiting for my market order to show up, and I'll show that to you in another section, and none of you will be surprised at what I ordered from market. So I was just working on a little bit of this and that in the interim. And so I picked Miss Valentine's Day Fairy up again and worked on her for about maybe 3 days. She got maybe 4 days. And so I finished up her arms. I had to take out and put in one of those arms because Smart Me didn't mark off 2 lines when I had finished stitching and folded her up and put her away. When I got her back out, didn't remember that, and so I stitched those 2 lines again and couldn't figure out why the one arm was up 2 rows too high, so I had to unpick it, count carefully, figured it out. So here she is. I finished up her arms, the pink outline around the heart, and I'm in the process of filling in the darker red of the heart, and I have chosen to stitch that up and down, hoping to simulate like, you know how satin has the vertical running shiny bits. So that is my vision. There is a satin covered candy box, heart, whatever it is. This is being stitched on 32 count Violet Fizz. It's either Violet Fizz or Purple Fizz. I'm not remembering off the top of my head. This is an Atomic Ranch fabric, and I think that is just turning out really quite lovely. You're in the way. Yes, you are. Yeah, hops down. And then the last thing that I have been working on, which hasn't seen the light of day in years, is this Dimensions pattern. Be a Light Unto the World. Many of you have been working on it and stitched it, and so I had, all of this jar was done, and a good chunk of the establishing bits of the second jar were done. And then I wanted to move up into that corner to find the upper edge, and so I'm just kind of filling down in as I move along that edge. And a couple more, little more stitches, and then I'll move the hoop down to find the bottom edge of that. And I'm using all the called for, the fabric, the flosses, all that for this little project. And that got a couple of days in between while I was waiting for my market order to show up. Let's look at, so the Galentines event, you can see my pink, I got a pink tote bag from the event. And so we had a great time. It was a very, I think Brooke said there were about 50 people, 54, something like that. And we fit into a building at a nature park reserve thing out in, I forget if it was Layton or Syracuse. It doesn't mean anything to you guys who are not here in Utah, but north, close to Ogden, but not that close. Had a great time stitching, saw a lot of my friends, talked to a million people, and I'm just realizing that I forgot my fabric. So we'll pause here so I can go grab the fabric, and then come back, look through the loot, and slowly move on from there. So sec. So we were talking Galentine's Day. It was a great party. Saw so many stitchers, had such a good time. Really just loved it. Good stuff. Let's see. My box has a little bit of everything in here. Here we go. My name tag that I neglected to fill out just because. Okay, this is going to sound weird, but almost everybody knows who I am just because the community that goes to Brooke's events, we see each other all over the place. So name tag, not necessary, because I know who they are, they know who I am, and we arrived late, so I never quite got around to, let's see, this is going to be a cat toy. She wants to play. Here we go. Go get it. Very good. Everybody knows who everybody is. You know, just like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Okay. In our wonderful boxes was this cute little February design from Pickle Barrel Stitchins. Look how cute all those little guys are. And they included the a little bit of fabric. I happened to pull Ada. It's fine. It's gorgeous. And the flosses to work on it. That is really super cute. Included a little frame that it'll fit in. There's kind of a little plastic thing over the stuff, but you just pull the little plastic thing out and it'll fit just fine. Has a thing, paint it up, perfect. Gonna be absolutely wonderful. We have a little cross stitch minder taggy thingy what's-its that came along with it. And let's see, have to separate out my stuffs. I don't even remember anymore, little cat. I'm going to attribute tiny pair of scissors to the gift bag and a little pin. And I picked up a cute little love sticker that Brooke had found for all of us. There was a couple more stickers. Ah yes, and an I love you sticker. Very cute. I sat with Sarah King and her mom, Carrie, and Holly, and Holly's friend whose name begins with an A, and I forget her name. I hope it began with an A, otherwise I completely have forgotten it. And this, me, after just saying, I know everybody, I didn't have to make a name tag, and I met a new person, and I don't remember their name. Oh dear. Hey, all right. Hang on, we have to do some cat management here because she's trying to get into everything. Go over there. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. I should have planned for this better. I never planned for anything. Okay. We have a packet of cute little red buttons. I love those. Sew those onto everything. A couple of these little wonder clips. Perfect for sewing onto stuff. And since I got to the table late, I'm not really sure who handed out what for the table gifts. Got these little tiny cute little things of Tic Tacs. Adorable. And in my bag is a frog sticker. Be mine, please. And one of the Boo Boo brushes. Put that back in here. Holly had a heck of a lot of kind of fun and snarky stickers, so I got Can I Pet That Dog? It's been 0 days since our last dumpster fire. What doesn't kill you only mutates and tries again. Be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s. Did I tell you guys that this year, 26 years, is going to be 26 years that I'm from the 1900s, and then, well, from the 20th century, and this one is I'm in the 21st century? So, splitting the difference there, perfectly balanced, right in between. We played the floss game, and my table played the floss game really left, right, center. We did it by our own rules, and then when everything was done, we started with the person who won, and they selected whatever colors of floss they happened to want. Because really, 6 times 5, that's an awful lot of floss. Anyway, so the floss pile went around, and you chose what you wanted. And so I pulled out these DMCs back out from the floss pile, and this beautiful little sample of, is this Stitch Me? Yep, Stitch Me. Perfectly purple. We got a 3D printed box with holes on so you can do a stitch. And one of the little stamps from the pattern that Pico Barrel Designs did for us will fit right in there. Plus in here are a selection of various bobbins. So those, cute, cute, cute. Shannon has a 3D printer, and she does many 3D printed things. She gave us a cute little bunny, napping bunny. You could put your orts in there or whatever else is important. Not a candle. Bad things happen when you burn candles and the wax melts onto it. Don't do that. Orts, precious things, absolutely adorable. A tin. I'm not sure if this came from the gift bag or from one of my table mates. A cute little tin to hold your stuff in. I think there is scissors and stuff in this, as you can see. I haven't opened it, but it's heavier than just a tin should be. Adorable. And then Brooke had a couple of games to play, and so she called it Let's Make a Deal, but it was more like what is in your purse. So if you had brought more than three or more pair of scissors, you could go up and write on ticket and get a piece of trim. So I qualified for 2 of those things because I did happen to have more than 3 pairs of scissors on me. So I got a trim for that, and then I forget what this trim was for. What qualifying thing I had. So there is that for finishing. Let's see. Let's pull out the fabrics. I won a door prize. It was Valentine's Day themed. It came in the this bag with the purple trim. And so there was a handful, a sampling. Oh, little kitty. No, you're going to have to... This is not working. This is not working. Okay. Still not working. Here's our floss that was in the little bag. Very cute. And then this Debbie Draper Designs with a floss to do it with. Very nice. Carrie's Creations. Ah, I remember Carrie's Creations. Little cat. And since it was Valentine's Day themed, well, this bag was. The other bags had all different themes. We have a You Have My Heart. This is a Lizzie Kate. And Inspiration Love. Heart and hand. Very cute. I'm very pleased with both of those. And that was a good time. And then you can see I haven't pulled anything out just because it's been so crazy. Well, I knew I needed to set everything aside for you guys since it's been almost, well, it's been a month since I've recorded, and about 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Yeah, about 3 weeks since I saw you guys last. Well, no, 3 weeks. 4 weeks since I talked to you last. 3 weeks since the retreat. Holly and or her good friend that I met, can't remember her name after I had gone along about talking on their names. Anyway, brought 2 little, these are needle holders, and one has needles in and one does not, but aren't they? They're really cute. Japanese. Actually, I should look. No, that's Chinese and not Japanese. That one, this one. This one is Japanese. I can tell because I know the difference between katakana, the kanji, and the hiragana. Anyway, don't ask. I took high school in junior and senior year, and that was 35 years ago? Okay. I also acquired a little bit of fabric while I was there. Candace, who is wonderful and lovely and sometimes does some of my finishing stuff, gave me this piece of linen. It is Violet Mist in a 22 count. Nope, 32 count. My hand was shadowing the numbers. This is super cute. Love it. It's going to go into one of my little file things. And then from summer, I bought As You Wish. This is the 32 count. It's a nice green. Looks really lovely. Lovely, lovely. Put that here. Cat fur. And then the other thing I got, Red Thicket, was a 32 count linen in Thistle. I keep buying Thistle. I've bought it in Lagana. I have it in an Ada. I now have it in a 32 count linen. I keep buying this. It's pretty and I like it a lot. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just getting together with everybody and chatting with them all and having a nice time. Brooke has selected the date for our next one-day retreat, the 13th of June, kind of a patriotic theme, getting it in early. The 14th is Flag Day, so that really starts it off. And here is all the information you need to know. It'll probably be up in Layton, Syracuse, Clearfield, just south of Ogden, really in that neck of the woods again. So, yeah. Come on and stitch with us. It will be a good time. Okay, so I have my I made 2 orders for Nashville. I was watching everything come and go and just thinking, oh, sadness, there's just nothing that I want to stitch. But then Sampler's Not Forgotten showed out the Pansy Garden. So I had to buy this, and I'm working on getting all of the flosses they call for the Gloriana silks. So I found most at one place and the rest almost at another place, but there was one that neither of those places had, so I found that one at another place, and so I have I don't know. This is what I'm going to start as soon as I have all the materials ready to go for. And that's why I'm just kind of idling on Miss Valentine's Fairy and on the Be a Light Dimensions kit. So we're just kind of waiting for those to come. I got my fabric from Color and Cotton, the soft neutrals for the year. This is Wood Smoke. And it is a very soft gray-y brown or a browny gray. That's really quite lovely. And then the last of the Color Wheel Club for the purples came in. And it is a bold, deep, dark purple called Empress. Really pretty. I think that's gorgeous. So I'm really quite excited about that. And then that's almost it. And then I was tooling around Etsy like you do, looking for some pansy fabric like you do. And somebody, a seller, had put together a little tiny, there's only 7, fat quarters, so a fat quarter bundle with some lovely pansy fabrics in it. Let's see, okay, wait, there we go. I always forget sometimes that my camera is not mirrored. And so here's kind of the other side of those. So some really pretty pansies. And then the same seller had, like this is gorgeous with the pansy. It wasn't fully pansy, but it has the pansy seed packet. And then the rest of these fabrics were just really pretty. So I picked those up maybe for a couple project bags. Yeah, probably project bags. There's not enough there to make a big bag. So, and I love project bags, so it's not going to be any hardship to have project bags. Okay, that's everything. Oh, I did stitch on Celtic Noel, but I forgot to get her out of the frame. She's right here. She's fine. She had some stuff done on her. Mostly filling in the frame and getting stuff set out so I can work on the last of the medallions and started on the Noel across the top. So that's what I have been up to in stitching. Work continues just the way work does. Not terribly exciting, not terribly stressful, just floating along, getting all my reports and stuff in as a good accountant does. Mom and I canceled our Norwegian cruise, knitting cruise. I had emailed the travel agency asking for details about the fiber-related excursions that were advertised in the description of the thing, and they said 2 weeks before final payment we'll send you a list of these other excursions so you can choose, you know, and buy what you pay for. And it was almost 90 days out. It was 10 days out. So I emailed and I said, hey, we haven't seen this list. Where is it? We're really looking forward to checking out these other fiber related things that you advertised. And they sent back a thing that basically said, we're not doing any extra things. Where did you get that idea? Why would you? And I'm like, it's right here on your confirmation email. It is the first sentence. Welcome to the Midnight Sun Cruise. About 2 weeks out, we'll send you blah, 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 blah. And so since it was far beyond, you know, we're still 90 days out, so everything is completely refundable. And so I told Mom, we discussed it with Mom, figured it out, and we just decided to cancel. I was really stressing out about it, you guys. We're really worrying about this and that, and hauling medicine and drugs and suitcases and trains, and I can't explain it, but it was really quite stressing me out, and I feel so much better that I'm not flying overseas. I don't even feel bad about canceling. The travel agency, they were really miffed about it. I expected the one pushback email that was basically, oh, are you sure this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm like, no, I don't. I'm really going to skip it. And so she pushed back 2 more times, and I'm like, no, we're going to cancel. We are going to cancel. And so I told my knitting group about it, and our faithful leader of our knitting group, she was really quite upset. She called the instructor on the cruise, who is one of our good friends, and well, not my personal good friends, but the leader of our knit group is good friends with the instructor, right? Okay. And asked the instructor, what's going on here? And so the instructor called the travel agency. Travel agency told instructor same things that I had been told. And instructor was like, they've never done this before. This is highly unusual, blah, blah, blah. And so I think our leader of the knit group probably, I don't know, I haven't talked to her, so I'm putting words in her mouth. Anyway, Mom saw her at quilt group and not knit group. And she was really quite miffed, but she was heavily invested because she wanted to take her, most of her daughters, all of her daughters. I don't know if they're all going or not. That's neither here or there. So she was far more invested in it than Mom and I were. So she's going, but I think she's a little miffed. So craft cruises, don't do business with them. Okay, everything. Yep. It's sunny outside, which is about the best thing we got going for us this day. Like I say, 0 days without a dumpster fire. You guys are strong. You guys are tough. You guys can do it. One step forward, one step up. Love your neighbor. Hugs and stitches, everybody. Bye.